Hello and welcome back to Each Other's Mothers. We finally have Carl Johnson on. Welcome, welcome. What's been going on? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. We've been trying to get this together for a while.
For a while. And you are consistent, thank goodness, because I'm all over the place, as we just learned in the last episode. So yes, thank you so much for hitting me up and being like, hey, remember that I'm funny and cool and you should have me on your podcast? And I'm like, yes, actually, I do remember that.
I have to do that once a week.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot. You're booking 2 rooms, right? Multiple rooms. You got a podcast. You got a lot going on. It's understandable.
It's a whole thing.
You try not to take it personally, even though you have those times you're like, what? How come that person hasn't thought of me? And you're like, dude, they have so much going on. You know what I mean?
It happens all the time. It actually just happened with Diego Atanasio, which we all love.
Loved you. I just did a show with him. Love him.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Well-known headliner in the area. Amazing. Also the only other Peruvian. Peruvian boy.
You know more Peruvian?
That's the only thing
I know
don't like
one
about
other
him, if I'm
Peruvian. Yeah. That's why.
And your mom
why I don't
hasn't
like him.
tried to,
Bone him?
Yeah.
No, she hasn't met him. I've kept him far away for a reason.
That's why he hasn't been on.
Yeah, I can't have Diego Atanasio be
quiet,
my
too.
stepdad. That'd be crazy.
I think he feels left out a little bit because he's got a kid now, so he hasn't really done much comedy, So
that's also true, yeah.
Yeah, which...
Bring the kid.
Bring the kid.
Give him a mic.
Yeah.
I don't
Each
think
other's fathers.
Yeah.
He has one blue eye, and then the other one's brown.
Wow.
So he's like a little husky.
The
crazy.
Diego or...
Diego.
Oh, okay.
No, not the kid. I don't know shit about the kid.
When I first saw him, I was like, that's real? That's a real thing? Wow.
I'm like, does he have a glass eye? What's going on? But it happened the other day when he was at the Indie he was recording John Mahar's set. And he walked in the door and I'm like, oh my God, you are alive and you're funny and I need to book you soon.
Yes.
So that, it does happen a lot.
He's underratedly funny. He's
Super
very funny.
underratedly funny. And he, like yourself, thank you for this. You're not blowing up my fucking inbox all the time. Some people who are, no offense, but less funnier than you guys. They're when are you gonna, and I'm like, okay. And then I respect that other people.
It's also just about showing your face, and I don't show my face enough at the Indie. So it really is about showing your face. There's so many comics now that you forget kind of who's around.
So my boyfriend was wondering who was on the pod because he loves being here sometimes if he can, whatever. And he's working today, but he was like, who do you have on? And I'm like, oh, yeah, Alexa, because he just met Alexa at the Indie on Wednesday.
She's great.
She's amazing. And then I was like, and then Carl Johnson. And he's like, have I met him? And I'm like, no, because he's never at the Indie.
Yes,
so it's funny that you say that.
Fault.
But you guys would get along well. So you just come on by sometime.
I will. I need to. Anytime I have someone on, like a producer, you or Mercer on, I'm always like, I need to at least go there on Thursdays. And I never do.
Yeah.
But
so
I need
Farino's
to
doing a pre-booked mic now on Thursday.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I love the name.
Sophie's Choice. I came up with the name, of course.
That's
Everyone
a great
hates
name.
me. Everyone hates it. Yeah. Some people were like, "Oh, really? In this economy, in this climate,
Oh my
blah blah blah."
God.
And it's like, yeah, we're a comedy. We're a true comedy club. We actually make real jokes. That's what happens.
Is that every Thursday or is that a couple of Thursdays?
It's 1 to 2 Thursdays a month, depending on what we have going on. But Wenzel now does a monthly.
Yes, the Funny Dozen.
The Funny Dozen. He brought to our place, and now Jason Jamerson on March 13th will be starting a pre-booked show on Thursdays once a month, and it's called Good Set. So he will have a person do a set, and then afterwards he gets back on stage with the comic on stage, and they'll break down the set.
Oh, I love that.
And be like, how long have you been telling that joke? What is it about? Where did it come from? Is this true? Is it false? You know what I mean? Kind of like interview style, which I thought was a really cool concept.
That's a really good. And Jamerson's great for that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. And then Solferino, in order to make the name make sense, he is now collecting junk as prizes for whoever has 1 to 2 comics, whoever have the best set or whatever, they get a prize at the end of the show, which I thought was very funny.
And then you got Sam on Wednesdays, right?
Sam on Wednesdays.
Dude, the Indie's hitting on all cylinders right now. It's pretty incredible.
We are doing really well, but it's still, we still try to sell, and sometimes it doesn't. We have to close sometimes on Fridays.
Yeah.
Especially, we work with a lot of and this is not an offense, but mid-level headliners who are just getting to stardom, if you will. And sometimes they just don't sell in Detroit because they don't have a following here.
Oh, I've headlined there before. I know.
It's a struggle,
Yeah.
but it's like you have the time, you are talented, you are funny, but you just don't have the fucking following, and that's just the struggle that we have nowadays.
It's so hard, like booking a comic, because you would think, what's that place like Fit 60 maybe? On
65.
You would think that would be pretty fairly easy to pack out.
I know.
And I know you guys are doing everything you can to get people in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it packs out, and other times it does. It's very interesting. How
It is very interesting. A lot of factors in stand-up comedy, as we know. Putting butts in seats is one of them, and the weather and who the person is, and we're super reasonable with our prices. Even if it's a touring, well-known comic, we don't go higher than $25 a ticket.
Now, do you think now has having Sam there on Wednesdays? You think that helps the weekends out because people are like, oh, there's a comedy club here. You know what I mean?
Yes, that 100% all of the time.
Okay.
And also with Don't Tell comedy shows, there's people that come and talk to Camilla and I after the show, and they're like, we didn't realize there was a stand-up comedy scene. We didn't like this the whole thing. You guys are bringing such great people. And I'm like, a lot of the lineup is local. Like, and then I get the opportunity to be like, I also book and co-produce a comedy club in Hamtramck. If you're a true stand-up fan, or if you had fun tonight, a lot of Don't Tell people audiences first time ever seeing stand-up.
Yeah.
It's a lot of untrained audiences, which is interesting.
Yes, because they don't realize that local people are very funny too.
Very
just
funny.
because you're not on TV doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Correct. So yeah, Sam's audience is amazing. He does the show 2 to 4 times a month if he can do it, if he's in town. And he has a lot of repeat audience members that come every
amazing.
single week.
Great.
And then I've noticed those people come to like My Dirty Show, or, check out other shows in the weekend. And it's helped a ton. So we just talked about Sam in the last episode too. We talked about Running the Light.
Okay. I haven't read the book yet, but I've heard amazing things. Yeah.
Okay.
I should put that on my Audible.
I told
wish
Bree
list.
she can borrow my book.
I said she's trying to get me to borrow the book, and I was like, I'm not going to read it. I'll listen to
Yeah.
it. So I'm with you on the
We
audio.
must
Yeah.
listen to it.
I don't have I guess I kind of do the same thing audibly, but if I'm reading physically, I have the habit of just going back and rereading the same paragraph because I'm an idiot. Like my brain just doesn't. Yeah, so Audible is a little bit better, but I still sometimes even have to rewind and be like, what's going on?
Yeah. It's the way of the world nowadays. Our brains are melting. The world is on fire. Trump's our president. It's fine. I'm drinking a beer at 4 p.m. Is he?
Is he?
I mean,
not my
I had
president.
no idea.
yeah, I can't even. That video yesterday. Did you guys watch the Zelensky thing?
Oh, yeah.
What is it? No, I didn't watch it.
Oh,
He's
you'll be
throwing
angry if you do.
He's throwing a temper tantrum with the Democratic, mind you, leader of Ukraine.
Oh, real cute.
JD Vance was the most infuriated in that because he said he was. Haven't you said thank? You've not said thank you this once yet. Like JD Vance was like, you tell him to say, and he's like, I've said thank you many times. And one guy in the crowd was like, why don't you wear a suit?
Yeah.
He's in the middle of a war. He
Yeah.
doesn't care about his suit,
Right.
I've never been like, he's done a lot of stuff that's made me angry, but watching that in real time, I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is unbelievable.
The caucasity. I can't. I cannot.
Have you had any Trump people on, by the way, that you know of? Huh?
We haven't had Brett Solferino on yet. Just kidding. He keeps canceling on us. It's probably because we're brown women.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's a Trumper. He's the kindest, sweetest boy who looks like he would
He looks like
hate
he would,
women,
but who knows, right?
no. I don't think so. I don't think I keep them in company.
Yeah,
and
I don't
if
think I
I
have
do,
either,
they're
but-
very, they keep it to themselves
Yeah,
for
kinda,
obvious reasons.
She's been protecting me.
I have.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't. No. We got a half Blackie in the room.
Have
so.
you visited Austin yet? Have you gone to Austin yet?
I went to Austin probably 4 years ago now.
Okay.
That was my first experience,
different
and
4
then
years
I'm
ago.
going there next week.
Yeah. Oh, I think I might have. Was it you that I messaged? I think I responded to your stories.
Probably.
Like, yeah, keep track of the amount of slurs you hear at the mics. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Really?
you did say that. Yes, we'll make a little bingo card out of it. Yeah, my boyfriend loves Kill Tony, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna sit in the audience. I will not be signing up. I'm so terrified. Do you think that's big pussy of me? Am I being a coward? I'm scared.
Scared of what? Like,
I'm scared of it not going well and them being mean to me and then having that tape out. There's so many comics that watch it and I would be embarrassed.
It's fine.
It
It is fine.
It's
We're all
fine.
gonna
Well,
die.
I mean, they don't make it welcoming for comics. Let's be honest. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be really funny in a minute. Was it a minute? Is it 30
I
seconds or
think
60 seconds?
it's
90 seconds.
It might be 90 seconds.
Yeah. So I don't think I don't even know if I'd want to watch it. I mean, you got to support, But I don't think I'd want to sign up for it. I mean, I'm happy for Jacob Barr, but
So happy.
super happy for him.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's not like a comic. And then you look at like the dais. Some of the people even on the dais, I'm like, who are these people? Like, what? As big as Rogan is, like podcast wise, his comedy is. Whew.
Yeah. That's also very true. Yeah. I don't know.
It'll be fine.
Man, I'm scared. Maybe. We'll see how I feel the day of.
Yeah.
His actual birthday is on the 10th and the show is on the 10th. So I'm like, let's go fucking have some drinks.
Yeah.
I have a handful of comics that I know that work there as like door guys and whatever. So it'll be nice to just hang and like see the club and stuff.
I love that you say that you're scared because on the outside you're fierce. Like I would not even.
Scared every day.
I know we've talked about this before. Like inside you're like, don't talk to me.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do it either as long as I've done comedy, to be honest. I don't think, what's the point? Remember when Jeff Horst did it? Jeff Horst did it, and then they found out after he did it, like after his set, that he had credits. And they made fun of him for having credits. And it's just like, it's just...
They did take a shit on him, actually. I remember that now. See, and that is what I'm scared of. Like, and I don't ever want to go up there and like lose my temper or lose my cool because they're making fun of me and then being like, well, I have sacrificed. You know what I mean? Like,
it doesn't do anybody justice at all. Because like, because you can have... I mean, look at the people that have, besides Jacob and maybe a couple others, look at the people that have blown up because of that show. They're not even like good stand-ups. Like most of them are not...
Ross and I went and saw the Killers of Kill Tony. They came to Detroit at the Masonic. And we were so disappointed, especially him because he's like a big fan of the show and like whatever. Cam Patterson had the only good set of the night. He absolutely killed it. He closed out the lineup, obviously. But yeah, it was disappointing across the board.
Yeah.
And it's true. And it's, they idolize these guys. Austin idolizes them, sure. But then it's like you get outside of your bubble and you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everyone thinks that
sometimes
far of racism is funny. Like,
sometimes developing your own audience can be a bad thing. And like for like Austin, I feel like for like someone like Tony Hinchcliffe, who's doing very well, by the way.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a detriment to his comedy, to be honest with you. He's a great roaster. I love the Tom Brady roast. He can write a roast joke like no other, but I'm not super familiar with his stand-up, nor do I really want to be.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the stand-up either. But yeah, great roaster, great producer, obviously. Very, very kind guy, actually.
Yeah, he's actually very nice.
He's so nice.
Very friendly. I was surprised after my experience, of course.
Sure.
Him being so friendly. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, actually, that was fine.
So Bree accidentally got on Kill Tony.
What was the experience?
I accidentally got onto Kill Tony. I've done stand-up before, but I'm not like a serious comedian.
Sure.
I'm just a funny individual.
Okay.
But I've never like taken it as seriously. Yeah. So I had some jokes, but all of my jokes are very like woke jokes.
Yeah.
Not the audience for that.
Yes.
But it was either tell the only jokes I had or go up there and not say anything at all.
Yeah.
I actually thought, like, in the moment, I thought it was much worse than it actually was. Going back and listening to it, I was like, oh, I actually did get some laughs.
Yeah,
and
your interview went really well, too.
Yeah.
Your interview was great because you didn't care.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Whereas, like, I think I would get up there and be very nervous, where you were like, I'm just talking to, like three dudes who I don't even know or care about.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that worked out to my advantage because I did not know or care about those people.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, anytime you think it's bad, it's not as bad as you think. And anytime you think it's great, it's not as great as you think either.
That part. That
you kill on
part.
stage, then rewatch, you're like, this was good, but it wasn't what I thought it was. When I was up there.
It's real bad. Very cringy. But she also admitted that she wasn't a comic while she was up there.
Oh, I love that, what they're saying.
Tony got upset.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's the joke.
Yeah. But it was also infuriating to watch that happen and then like him get disappointed and a little upset. Whereas like had she said like, this is my first comedy set, or like I've done a couple, this is my third time ever doing stand up, he would have applauded it and been like, okay, that's fine. But because she said the words, I'm not a comedian, he was like, people stand in line all day to get on this show.
Well,
Blah,
because
blah,
I
blah.
also followed it up with something along the lines of, I just aspire to getting praised for doing absolutely nothing but being an asshole, kind of like these guys up here. Something like that. Yeah.
He would have been really mad if he went on
hilarious.
stage with those hand fingers.
His hands, Tony's hands. Those are,
I'm cosplaying as Tony Hinchcliffe right now. Oh,
Just
yeah.
Just say son of a bitch.
I love when people take comedy way too seriously. Like I wouldn't have. It's wild that he would even say that.
No,
you
but he
know?
was actually
Yeah.
very nice
Was-
afterwards.
okay.
And he was like, you actually did a really good job. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the? Ugh.
Then why didn't you say that?
And because I
Yeah.
felt so shitty after, I got blackout wasted.
Oh yeah.
I was so drunk. I made an absolute fool of myself.
Yeah. We
But-
got lit.
Well, it's because people kept buying me drinks.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're like, great casserole joke. Here's a beer. Yeah. You want a shot of tequila, casserole girl? Yeah. And then there were a couple comics who, like, I had met throughout just. I was popping in on mics. I was like networking as much as I could, hanging out at the creek and all that. And so comics would come up to me and they're like, did you see that girl that went up who's not a comic? Like they were mad. And I'd be like, that's my friend.
Yeah.
She's taking free
also-
shots. Go buy her one. Like, go fuck yourself.
Also, like, how can you take it so seriously when comedians are doing 90 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, that's the other thing, dude. It's like you're kind of not taking it that seriously.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
you
I mean?
obviously are in this mindset of kind of a little bit of delusion, which we all are constantly, but especially with comics who like are killing to get on the show
Yeah, sure,
because they
sure.
think that they're going to be like equally as like discovered and like on the road and all these things. And it's like, there's maybe 3 women who he respects and one of them's in a wheelchair. So I don't, that's so 2.5 women. And those are the only women. And like, it was like chicks who were coming up to me being
Right.
like, did you see that girl? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you honestly think that you are going to make it into that like group of 3
Yes,
women?
yes.
Because all of the people who actually have gotten a spotlight from Kill Tony are men, you know? And I know it's a
That's a good
numbers
point.
thing, whatever, but you know, look at the panel.
Yeah.
Very rarely does he have a girl
Yeah.
on there.
Well,
so
I don't think a lot of them want to do it.
that's also true. That's
Yeah.
also
I mean,
true.
you can't blame them. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if like Nikki Glazer or like Whitney were ever
Yeah.
on the panel and like I signed up and I got up in front of them, I would be so happy.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that would
you
be
know what I
great.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
even if they were like, keep working at it, I'd be like, okay, but at least you didn't tell me that I suck, and at least there was a girl there.
Well,
you know?
how many people sign up? Do you know? Like about how many people?
I think it's a lot.
So, well, what are the odds? Well, if I would just sign up.
This was 4 years
sign up.
ago when we signed up, and what had happened was the show was sold out.
Okay.
And we had gone out for drinks before the show, and I had kept telling them all day, like, grab tickets, it's going to sell out. And then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
did. And so we're like maybe a 20 fucking step walk away from the actual venue.
Right.
And this was when it was at Vulcan before it was at Mothership. And they were like, well, we still want to come to this show. And I'm like, well, here's the loophole. You got to sign up for Kill Tony in order to get into the building.
I didn't understand what it was or what she was talking about.
Yeah, and then Connor and I had never signed up before or had been to a Kill Tony before. So I thought it was like, sign up, put your name in the bucket, you stand in the back of the room and wait for your name to be called.
Right.
They put you in pig pens at Vulcan.
And lock your phone away.
And lock your phone away, and you have no rights anymore.
You can't go to the
You
bathroom.
can't go to the bathroom.
You
or
can't have any
use the-
drinks.
Yeah, the server to take our drink order finally came around to the pig pens and took our order with like maybe 15 minutes left of the show. Like it
That's
was
insane.
crazy.
It's a little dehumanizing.
A little, yeah.
Yeah. a
Very
little bit.
dehumanizing. And then and you're in a pig pen. You can't see the stage.
No.
So again, this is 4 years ago. I don't know how they're doing it now at
yeah.
Mothership, but
Well,
yeah.
hopefully it's progressed.
It's probably worse.
Yeah. Unlike their politics, but yeah, it's.
Oh my God.
It was crazy, and then
I take it back. Don't sign up for the show. But go ahead.
terrified again.
I'm like, you
traumatized.
do it. That's why I kept saying do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Oh God, I probably should, and maybe I will. Who knows? But yeah, you're in pig pens, and you're surrounded like pretty much shoulder to shoulder, kind
I
of a
hadn't
little
heard
bit,
about this. This is insane.
with a bunch of comics who are like rocking back and forth
Yeah,
and trying
yeah.
to pace, and they're like holding onto their notebooks for dear life.
Who've
and like
been there every single
they've
day,
been there every
week
Monday.
Yes,
Yeah.
promise, yeah.
a year. So one person I met,
Yeah.
and then they drew my name first.
And then and it was me and Connor, Uncle Chris,
My
Zelina,
uncle, and my partner.
and so there's 5 of us that put our name in,
Yeah.
and out of all 5
that's
of us,
hilarious.
she was
So
both.
1 in 5.
1 in 5, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite the experience. So yeah, I'm excited to go back. I'm mostly excited to eat food and just like
Yeah.
enjoy stand up. Like I had reached out to a handful of homies that are out there. Excuse me. And I had to let it out. And I even said, like, I just want to come and support your show. Like, I'm not looking for time out there. I'm very nervous to do stand up in Austin. I don't want to feel bad about myself.
Well, it's because of who's there now. That's why. If it was like, if it wasn't the Kill Tony and Joe Rogan crew, it would be completely different. They're not They don't seem like welcoming people. You know what I mean? They're
exactly.
Not, you know, that's what stand up is about. That's why I love it so much. Is almost everyone here is pretty great. And everyone gets along. They're welcoming for the most part. That scene is not. I remember hearing a quote Rogan said fairly recently on his podcast that when we arrived, and this, I couldn't believe he said this, the self-awareness is wild. But if you're rich, that's what happens.
Yeah.
But he said the comics realized that when we got here, they had to get their shit together because the killers are in town. That's a quote from Joe Rogan. I was like, that is
Jesus Christ,
insane.
Yeah.
Even if you were like an amazing comedian, you don't say that out loud. It's not something you say out loud to anybody.
It's icky.
Yeah,
it's very.
He's
icky.
out of touch.
Very much.
And that scene, I think, is becoming out of touch. And
I think so
that's
too.
Part of the problem.
Yeah, it is part of the problem. So, and to me, it's a funny comparison for me to be so nervous and so like anti, like even trying.
Yeah.
Because I'm here or in the Midwest, and people are like, "You should move to Austin. Like your comedy would kill it in Austin." And I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
I thought that a couple years. Did I say that to you too? I feel like because
I don't know,
you were
probably.
thinking, what were you? Was
LA.
it LA?
I
Yeah,
was thinking
yeah.
LA.
I think I said New York. Maybe I did say Austin.
Yeah,
But
probably.
like, maybe not now though. I don't know.
I know, it's so weird to think about. And it's hot there. Bree lived there for a while, so she
Did you like
she
it?
knows.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I felt like it had no soul.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
barbecue, no soul.
Yeah, there's like
Lots of great food, but no soul.
lots
Yeah.
of fun things going around, but then you look around and
Yeah.
it's like a bunch of really rich white people from New York and LA, and the people that lived there their whole lives
Sure.
don't enjoy it anymore, and it's just kind of weird. But the food's great, and there's a lot of nice
Yeah.
patios.
Yeah.
But everybody's weird and fake.
Right wing comedy is
Yeah.
just so bad. It's so bad, dude.
Yeah.
I forgot who I was talking to about this on my podcast, but we were talking about like people, like a lot of people that aren't, that are fans of comedy but they're right wing, they don't do stand up, are like mad at like free speech, all that stuff.
Sure.
It's the liberal arts.
Yeah.
So that's why most people are in this space are liberals. It's not the conservative arts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so true.
It's so it's interesting. I don't believe. I'm not saying that all right wing comics are bad. I would say a good majority of them are though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another world out there, but yeah, like I said, I'm there to hang, network. I'm gonna do Tim Hill's podcast while I'm there. Super stoked for that.
That name sounds familiar. Who's that again?
Skinny stoner looking guy.
Was he visiting here for a
glasses.
while?
He is originally from Michigan, yes, and
Okay.
then San Diego for the majority of his
Yes.
comedy
Okay, I know who
career,
you're talking
and now
about.
is in between San Diego and Austin.
Okay.
I think mostly based in Austin, but yeah.
Well, at least you got some connections out there. That'll
Yeah,
make
and like I
things
said,
easier.
I'm there to hang. Like,
Yeah.
I keep talking about Ross, but Ross is like a massive stand-up comedy fan. We met at Skankfest, so
Okay.
he has
Oh, shit.
already has like a bunch of homies in Austin
Yeah.
from Skankfest because Rebecca, who owns Creek in the Cave,
Right.
she's a co-founder of Skankfest.
Okay.
So he is her right-hand man at the
Nice.
at the festival. So we're gonna go visit with her, and then the bartender at the Creek in the Cave is my stage manager when I work Skankfest.
Oh, wow.
So we're like deeply connected at that club, and then with like Genevieve Clinton out there and Marcus and all them.
Okay.
We'll hang with like
Nice.
and like meet all them. So for me, I'm like, I just want to network and hang and be funny at the hang.
Yeah.
So maybe if I come back in a few months, then I'll feel like confident and like ready to like show my face and
Yeah.
also connect and like message people and try. But
Yeah,
not
it's
this
interesting
time.
that you're. I mean, at this point, you're a veteran comedian. You've been doing it for how long? 7, 8 years. Something
8
like that?
years, yeah.
So it's like and I feel the same way. Like I'm 15 years in, and I'm like, I still have moments where I'm like, am I funny? I don't know if I'm funny. And then you're like, what the fuck? Like the confidence is just. Not a lot of overconfident comedians. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
not a lot of, and the ones that are.
Joe Rogan. Scary. Scary.
But that's what I did. I did the Comedy Castle this past weekend with Jackie Cation, and how do you feel when you do the Comedy Castle? Do you enjoy it? Like, how do you feel about that room?
I think it's so many factors, but I think overall, I have a good time.
Yes, so do I. But I don't.
It's
like,
a big room.
yeah, dude.
High ceilings, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, it's not as intimate as you would. I like
Right.
the room. It's an A+ club for.
Of course, yeah.
But I mean, the acts they get there are ridiculous. But the confidence thing is just like I had like first Thursday was good. First show Friday and Saturday were great.
Yeah.
And then late show Saturday, I do something I've never done in my entire stand-up career.
Yeah.
I repeat a joke. Never done that ever.
Yeah.
Do a quick joke, then I go back to it later, and as I'm doing, I'm like, did I say this? And everyone goes, yep. And I'm
done
like,
that.
wow, I can be doing this for this long and still fuck up like that. You know?
Oh my God, of course.
And then I go to do it, my closer, which I haven't. It's like an old joke. I'm like, I'll bring it back for this set. I do it, and in the middle of the joke, there's a necessary part you need to know to get the joke.
Yes.
I leave that part out completely.
Yes, I've done it.
And it gets nothing. Nothing. And I'm like, this joke fucking murders. What is happening?
Yeah.
So then I close on something else. It was good. But when I got off stage, Jackie and Elena Gonzalez, who was hosting, Jackie goes, yeah, you missed that one part. And I was like, did I? Holy shit. You know what I mean? So it's just, it's a weird room because I do enjoy it. I do fairly well there. But I do have, my confidence has never been shakier anywhere else than the Castle. Anywhere else, I'm fine. The Castle, just for some reason, there's something about that room where I'm like a comedian. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just strange.
I come in there big dick swinging.
Yeah. You
I own that stage. Not necessarily saying I've always done well, because there's been times, but I always make sure that I am taking over the room.
Yes.
I always make sure of that, especially because of the way it's set up. It's quite
You
nice.
have to move
You're
around
on a
the stage.
higher stage. You have to move
Yes.
around. I also know that Bill's in the room and Joel's in the room, and I know that Mark watches a lot of the shows from supposedly, but sometimes he's also there.
Yeah, it's true.
So I always like to make sure that I am extremely confident, because I think confidence has landed me a
Yes.
lot of my emceeing gigs, which get me my foot in the door, obviously.
Yeah.
And now I feature a lot more there. And I'm hoping for maybe in a couple years they'll offer me a headlining spot. That would be really cool.
It's
But yeah, I love it there. I have a great time.
there were comics that came out to the Saturday shows, and a couple of them were like, we're gonna watch the first show and second show. And in my opinion, I did fine the second show, but in my opinion, I was like, there couldn't have been more of a difference of me from the first and second show. Like you're saying, super confident first show, killing. Second show, did fine, wasn't as confident.
Yeah.
Very strange. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know. It's like that every single fucking time. But let's get into the thick of this. Let's start with, first of all, I forgot to ask you at the beginning of the episode, drop your podcast.
It's about the Michigan comedy scene. It's called Maybe Some Other Time.
Maybe Some Other
and
Time.
You've done it twice.
I have.
And I feel like we just came across the 4-year anniversary.
So
That's what I
cool.
love about your guys' pod is if I'm like, these guys have just been at it. And that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Especially if no one knows who you are. You just have to keep doing the podcast. Because so many people do 7 episodes like, not enough people are listening. We're done. It's like, no, you have to keep it going.
Yeah.
Doing this for me.
I
It is
really,
some of it, yeah.
I just enjoy it.
There is obviously the benefit of having content. So we have a
Yes.
great editor and
The
producer.
promos are great.
The clips are awesome. Marissa, shout out, the best. And that does give me something to kind of fill the void, because
Yes.
I'm not like a front face, tutorial bitch.
Yes,
like
yes.
I don't want to do that. I've said enough on the internet. So I do love that I can go back and forth from like a grid post and then a reel and like whatever. But it is fun. I love doing it. We get to like chat with really awesome people, mostly comics, and there's still work to do on the studio and all the things. But I don't let it consume me. I think I would drive myself crazy, and I don't want to like look at the numbers or like feel defeated or whatever. I just want to keep meeting with people and recording our conversations because I think they're funny or interesting or whatever. And I have a great time doing it with Bree.
That's all that matters.
I think a lot of my issue and why my numbers went down so many different times is because I switched my co-host a ton, and then also went on like hiatuses that also hurt us, and et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
So
And
right
consistency is
now,
key
this has been probably the most consistent that I have been in a long time.
I also love that you have like a non-comic as a co-host. You know what I mean?
It's pretty great, actually.
I keep her in check.
Keeps me in check 100%. She's like, no, they're non-binary. Okay.
We don't say mothers. We say people with children.
People with children. Yeah.
Also, like you're talking about the numbers. Podcasting is a roller coaster. It really is.
It really
Some
is.
weeks you're like, this is fucking.
Yeah.
And then other
banging.
weeks you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think,
it's interesting.
It's also hard to keep up with because I run so many other social media platforms. For the indie, my actual job during the day, I run their social media, I run my own, and then I'm trying to kind of get rid of HMC just because it's an extra account that I can't keep up with. We got rid of the Each Other's Mothers Instagram because I'm like, now what am I doing? You know, it's
Also, like that's, I'm not even like blown smoke. That is the coolest name for a podcast.
Each Other's Mothers.
Yeah, my name, it's so dumb. It
I
doesn't.
love it.
I know, but it's just so dumb. And the reason behind the name is I just didn't want to start a podcast. That was my answer to starting a podcast when someone asked me about it. And that's the only reason. You wouldn't even
works.
know if it's about the scene. That's what's interesting. Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, Each Other's Mothers. Connor and I came up with that. We were parking at the Independent, and she was drunk, and we were talking about starting a podcast that talked about friendship, and she's like, I know, because we're totally like each other's mothers. And
Love
that
it.
really stuck with me
Like,
because
say it again.
yeah, right.
Write that down.
And I was like, that's what I'm gonna name it. And then a year later, I did it, and now here we are. But because it started off talking to people about their friendships that were a little toxic, a little like codependent, and because I always grew up with my friends being like my family, so it was kind of based around that, and then it just like turned into a bunch of different things, and then obviously we started the whole thing of like, I want to hear about your mom, and like all, and the most watched episode I think is the episode that my mom was the guest,
Oh, that's fun. I
which
love
is
that.
great, right?
Of all
I think
time?
so, of
Wow.
all time. I haven't, again, I don't like look back because I would end my life if I did. I think I like looked the other day just because I had to.
That's so funny.
I had
Well,
to
you guys
like
do YouTube
do
too,
something.
right?
Yeah, we do
yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
as well, and
I just do
it's
audio.
like 40 views, and I'm like, God damn it, 10 views per year that we've been doing it. But what are you gonna fucking do, you know? But yeah, it has been a lot of fun. But yeah, Each Other's Mothers. Thank you for saying that. I like the
It's a
name
great
too.
name. It's a great name.
I like it too. Speaking of which, did you bring a mom of the week? We'll start there.
Yeah, it's kind. But not like a specific mom. It's kind of general.
That's okay.
It's like has to do with what's going on.
Yeah.
Right now.
Okay, I heard.
Liberal moms.
Liberal moms.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's,
Can't do it.
Yep. Not trying to again blow smoke, or what do they say? Virtual signals.
Yeah,
Virtual
yeah,
signal.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, after like what's going on, just raise your kids to love everybody. You know,
Yeah.
just be a good person, be a good human. You
Yeah,
know, it's
it's
so infuriating to
really
watch
not
like
that
us
hard.
taking steps backwards. You know,
Yeah.
like if you have like conservative values and they're like if you're socially conservative, that's my bigger problem. It's like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like I have friends that are like socially they're liberal, conservative they're not, but it's like. That's fine. That's a little more understandable. But
Sure.
when we're not treating people, like it's a big issue.
It's a huge
And it's a problem.
issue.
Yeah, it did. It's
Yeah. So when you say liberal moms, I'm picturing like a soccer mom, but like in this day and age, like a modern soccer mom.
I think a
if that makes
soccer
sense.
mom. Anytime I've watched like an old TV show or like a comedy show, and it is a soccer mom, and all the kids are piling in the van, I'm like, that's a liberal mom. That is like the first thought I have. I'm like, there's no way that's a conservative
Yeah.
mom. I think.
What do you
It's
think
the
of
football.
when you
The football moms are conservative.
football
The
moms are
soccer moms are
yeah.
liberal.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. They're and either way they're drinking.
Because
on the
soccer's a
job.
little gay.
Soccer's a little gay. Yeah, soccer's hella gay. Lots of lesbians
Yeah.
come from soccer. Football, if you will. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Liberal moms. Mom of the week. Mom of the week.
I couldn't really
with
think of
their
a
orange
specific
slices.
one, but like I've been like going. I've been like doom scrolling too much. I have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a joke on stage about alpha males.
Okay.
And it's hitting and then it's not hitting, and I'm like, well, it depends what kind of room I'm in.
'Cause there's alpha
I did it in
males in the
Ohio, and people were just like, "Fuck you," and I'm like, "It's Ohio, of course. Why
Yeah,
would I
of
not? Why would I
Yeah.
do this in Ohio?"
Sure. Yeah.
But it's me just making fun of the fact that that alphas are They basically tell you that they're alpha, but they won't say that. They'll just call you names to like, they'll say like that you're a beta. They'll say that, or they'll say cry. They'll say cope. It's all the same shit all the time. And then like I saw one guy, I saw like a video of a guy talking about women's rights, and there were multiple dudes in the comment section like, he's got low T, and I'm like, they can't spell testosterone. I understand. It's hard for them to.
Yes.
But it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. I need to just get offline. I'm going back to my day job in a week or two, and that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
It's no, you sit there for 4 months. I don't work in the winter, and you're just like, it's bad. And,
I get it. And it's like the first thing that you look at in the morning, too.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so bad. I like half wake up at like 5 a.m. before it's time for me to wake up, and I'm like, wasted what?
Dude, you start your day with coffee and bad news. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's been the past, 6 months.
I gotta stay off of it, so coffee and a cigarette is what I have become lately. But... every time I hit send, I never feel good about it. My first thought is like, I need a family. Like this is bad.
Sometimes I type it and just backspace, and I'm just delete it.
I do that
and
too.
I'm like, all right, I did it.
Which is you feel good after that.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I was gonna send this, and I had a guy on Facebook yesterday. I posted like, I never do this, but I posted something on Facebook where I was just like, fuck you, like just crazy stuff that I usually never do.
Sure.
And a couple people from high school posted, well, I voted for Trump, and I think Zelensky's out of his mind. And I did the thing that you said. I typed it all out, and I took a screenshot and said, instead of put it on my stories. But it was a guy I went to school named Jerry, and he was a bully in high school. And I said, I'm so glad I didn't send it, because it would have been just for all day.
Fuck you, Jerry.
But I was like, Jerry, you weren't smart in high school. I don't expect you to be smart as an adult. Like that's. And I was like, don't send that, because then you're just all fucking day. So it's
such a taker of energy. It's a life sucker. Yeah. And then you look back at it, like if you were a fly in the room observing yourself, you'd be like, what are you, go outside.
Yeah. It's not meant to.
Drink some water,
Because I've had friends that have done that in the past. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? But now that things are crazier. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm that guy now. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We do slowly become that guy. Yeah. You're a fucking keyboard warrior sometimes. I see you pop off.
I pop off so much less than I used to.
Yeah, but you still pop off. Smart. It's not a bad thing. No, I think you're really good at it.
In the sense of like, I've learned that the people that we think are crazy for various reasons, they just think we're crazy for various reasons.
That's a good point.
And we to them look like them to us.
That's true.
So I've been trying to hold a lot more.
One of us is spitting facts. That's the problem.
I mean, but we think we are spitting facts, and so do they. So
I know.
I'm trying to hold space to understand the other side. Although I don't necessarily disagree, I'm trying to find the spot in the middle, or I don't necessarily agree with them. Yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to find a spot in the middle where we do agree. And a lot of times we do actually want the same shit. Right. It's just said in a fucked up way.
Yeah, the dumbest, loudest people are usually the ones that are online.
Yeah.
Most people don't, and that's what you see when you go online. So most people in real life aren't like that. If you bump into them at a grocery store, you probably have way more things in common than you wouldn't. But that's not what, those people aren't online though. You know what I mean? Like it's the other people. I told a guy that, this is maybe on me just calling conservative racist in general. I don't necessarily believe that.
Usually.
But this guy was like, I told him, I was like, MAGAs live in their own world, man. He goes, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? And I, again, wanted to respond, but I didn't. I wanted to be like, well, I'll pretend that you're the pot. You're not using the word black. Let's be honest.
That's great. I love it.
I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah, for real.
But it's And here's someone said this to me, and it's true. This is the one thing I do think about. Is like, I'm a comedian, you're a comedian, so it does, like, arguing with people online in a sense does kind of keep the knife sharp, right?
Yeah.
As far as like, let's see if I'm still good on my feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. That is true. Yeah,
but don't let it consume you.
Should argue on the internet more.
What's that?
I said you should argue on the internet more. No?
Yeah. I did it for a while. And I mean, obviously, we were all trapped in the house for a while. I think that's probably when I did it the most, especially with like the Black Lives Movement and all that. I was like very, very passionate about that. I know some of you are surprised, but I do care about Black people and their lives. So yeah, I was very, I had the time, if you will. So I'm like, oh, I got the time today, bitch. Like I'll argue when I'm stuck in the house. But now that I am just so truly like so busy and in therapy now and like realizing that I need to just focus. Thank you. I need to like focus on my own life and my own like the inner workings of my household and my romantic relationship and my friendships. Like my friendships outside of comedy are very important to me, and to put the time and effort into keeping those alive and healthy.
Things you can control.
Exactly. Things that I can control. And this whole mindset of shout out like Mel Robbins, right? She's this like speaker of whatever. She's like touring and writes books and like does podcasts and stuff. Mel Robbins. But she has this whole let them theory that just like makes me so horny. I'm like, yeah, just fucking let them. Like let the people in your life like not invite you to brunch, you know, don't just let them. It's okay. Or, you know, other comics talking about me, or, you know, just my mom being the way she is. She's 60 something years old. She's never going to change. Yeah. Let her. Yeah. It's okay. And just focus on what's going on in your brain, your reactions, your feelings, because that's the only thing you control.
Right. Yeah.
So, end rant.
It's good advice.
That's how I've been living my life. Mini kill Tony hands.
Also, if you're a beloved comedian, I wouldn't consider myself a beloved comedian, but if you're someone's talking about you.
Oh yeah.
Whether it be good or bad, someone's saying something. This is comedy. That's what it is.
Right. Not to totally again suck Sam Talent's dick, but two things to say about him. The other day we were hanging out in the green room and somebody was like, "Everybody loves you," and he was like, "You'd be surprised."
Yes.
And he was serious.
And you think everyone would love him.
Oh,
yes,
he's
absolutely.
the kindest, greatest fucking guy on the planet. And he's like, you would be surprised. And so that kind of was like, that was like a wake up thing for me. And then we were talking about how we still get down on ourselves and whatever. One of his shows didn't sell well at the Indie because there was a winter advisory. So I think we only sold like half the room. And he was like pure, like, you know, the thing that we all do. I watched a legend who I respect and have looked up to for so long have this total like human comic reaction to like him only selling, like he's like, are we overdoing it? Do you think I'm milking the cow too much? Do you think, like in a very Sam way, like making it like slam poetry for no reason. His complaint was Sam poetry, if you will.
Very nice.
But yeah, it was so fun and like great to watch, and in like a very greedy way. I was like, okay.
Now picture Tony Hinchcliffe doing that. Would he ever do that? He would never do that.
He would never do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you gotta love about a guy like that, who's one of the top comics on the planet.
Yeah.
And he's still like, what's good? Am I doing the wrong thing here?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. He's like, should we go to monthly? Should we like try like throwing like, you know, spaghetti at a fucking wall? And I'm like, you're Sam Talent. Like, it's okay. The weather happens. People just don't want to drive tonight, and it's a Wednesday.
That's also why most people like that guy, though, too, because he's like that. Yeah.
He's just the best.
I love when I see a really great comic and they're insecure, and you're like, it's almost all of us.
It is all of us.
I'm every woman.
I'm every woman. It's all in me. Yeah, it's all in us. Did you bring a story about your mom?
Here's the thing. Sort of.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about a story. I mean, there's tons of stories about them. I'm trying to think of but I thought of one. I was thinking of one this morning and on the way here, but she's not like really a funny. I want to do like something funny, but she's not like really a funny person. She has her moments, I guess.
Sure.
But she's like your typical. When you think of a mom, she is that mom. She is loving. She will drive you crazy sometimes. You know, but like just today, because I'm not working, she doesn't have to do this. I have money. But she'll go shopping and then she'll just drop off a couple things for me. She doesn't have to do that. I'm in my 40s. She's still like being a mom. It's what I love about her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she told me a story on her that involved her wedding day. Mm-hmm. And I a while back, I think I've done this. I've tried to do this on stage. I can't get it to work. But and she told me that she married. I've never met my real dad. You're No Dad's Club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
all right.
yeah, dude.
And
We're in this together. You're an only child too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've never met my real dad. Don't know who he is. Just know his name. So my stepdad was a terrible human being. Just awful. Just really think of like the second worst thing you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so my mom married him, and then gradually kind of, I think, that generation is like, well, we're already on the ride.
Yeah.
So let's just fucking do the ride.
Yeah,
let's just keep
Totally,
riding,
Totally.
And she told me after he passed, my stepdad, this was a few years ago, she goes, did I tell you this story? She goes, on our wedding day, and I was very little, but have never done this before. And she goes, you shit in the bathtub on our wedding day. And she goes, looking back, and she goes, I should have took that as like a
As a sign.
like a
from
sign.
the
You were
universe.
probably trying to let her know.
Yeah.
Like, dude, don't do this,
like
Mom.
something's going on.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, you full blown. I mean, I haven't done that since a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But,
Few
but
hours.
Yeah.
but I think I was a little tyke, and that's what it was. Just me going. I can't really say. I don't have my vocabulary isn't very good.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take it out in this bathtub. Yeah. And I look back at that now. I'm like, I was probably trying to tell you something. You know, but they went through with it, and here I am. And he's part of the reason why I do stand up comedy in a way. So.
Yeah, let
But-
me tell you, for sure.
But as far as like stories, I don't know. I really couldn't think of anything. She's amazing. She's just your typical. She's like a sitcom mom. That's
Okay.
what she is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like funny, not on purpose.
Like Reba or Leah? you
Leah
know?
Remini? Is that your talking about?
Yeah.
I think I'd go lean towards Reba. I think
More Reba.
Yeah.
So still like gives you shit too.
A little bit, but like not. I mean, I do comedy, so it's hard for her. But I mean, she does give me shit, but like not. She when she laughs, she has a very loud laugh, which is where I get it from.
Okay.
So when she does laugh, which is, again, I'm not trying to make her sound like a statue. She's not.
Sure.
But she's not a very emotional person. I think I've seen her cry 5 times in my entire life. And when I know. And when she does laugh, though, it is very loud. And I'm like, that's where I get that from, because people make fun of my laugh.
Yeah.
So.
What's a little bit of her background? Where are her parents from? Does she have like a Ellis Island story or what?
No, it's very basic. My grandma, I remember my grandma. My grandma died on Valentine's Day when I was very young. So as far as I know, she's 6 kids. She was like one of 6 in
Okay.
a small, tiny house.
Sure.
2 sisters, 3 brothers, so it's 3 and 3.
Okay.
And for all I know is my grandparents were great. So I don't think there's anything crazy with her, but.
Okay.
But
Oh, there's got to be something.
I know.
Must be it.
Yeah.
I also really haven't dug. Here's the thing. I should, because I have a lot of questions. Like, who's my dad? What happened with that? You know what I mean? But I think
She's never told you.
I don't think she wants to talk about that stuff. Anytime
Okay.
it's come up, like I'm doing jokes about it now, but anytime it's come up, like she's not really. It's very like one or 2 sentences. Moving on.
Interesting.
Yeah. She even told me like what his that at one point I was smaller. I remember asking her, I go, what is my real dad's name? I do
Yeah.
joke about this, and she goes, Rex. She goes, Rex, like that was her, Rex, like that was like her
Yeah.
answer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting. What a weird Rex. And then I went around and asked, and it was Mark. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and the reason why I think she said Rex was I had a Jurassic Park poster on my wall as a kid.
Oh.
And she saw that, and she was like, fucking that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rex.
So I don't really know much. I think I do need to uncover that, because she's getting older. I'm also getting older. But I'm scared to ask her, because I don't think she wants to talk about it. But there's something going on.
Does anybody else know?
I mean, they told me my real dad's name. That's all they would. I asked my aunt, and she's like, Mark. And that's it. It's like they don't even want to talk about it either. So it's very strange.
Huh.
Yeah.
Does
big
your
mystery.
family drink?
No, not really. No.
That's why they're not talking.
Yeah, something's going on. I think
gotta
maybe
get 'em drunk.
maybe my real dad was maybe even more of a jerk than my stepdad was.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
kind of
So-
gathering too. Maybe something like
I
that.
know.
I don't like it.
But I should do what you're doing, and my listeners on my podcast, if they listen to this, they're gonna be mad at me because I say this all the time, and I don't do it. But health insurance in America is great. But I need to see therapy. So what you're doing is great. I need to do that. Absolutely.
You gotta, man.
Yeah.
I was going twice a week for a while, which was really great. You think that nothing's gonna happen between Tuesday and Thursday? There is Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's all 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked it because we could like talk about something, and then I could reflect for a full day, and then
do you do it
talk about
virtually
it
or?
again. Virtually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Shout out Ashley.
Nice.
She's the best. Yeah, the only white woman I trust. She is great. I've been seeing her for almost a year now.
That's your therapist?
She's a lesbian.
Oh.
I wish Ashley Darby was my therapist. Not. Are you kidding? That'd be crazy. This is my best friend since I was 10 years old, and I'm just shitting on her on a public forum. No, but it has absolutely changed my life, as well as medication, and just like learning how to react better to pretty much everything, not just with my family, but like in general, like truly taking my time on responding and like not working myself up into a lather for what.
I think it's very ridiculous to say that a straight white man can be angry sometimes, but but I do find myself in moments where like I don't really take it out on people. I don't get mad at people very often. You have to really push me for it to really.
Sure.
But like situations, like just weird stuff, like it's like the Bill Burr thing, just little stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking just losing my shit. Like what's going on there? And I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is funny that happens that way. Whereas like I did take it out on people for a very long time.
Right.
Then I'm like, wait, where is this coming from?
Yeah,
it's actually not about you. So sorry. Yeah, the whole art of projection.
I remember dating. I think this is my first realize I kind of have a problem. I should maybe talk to someone. I remember dating this girl, Ashley. Shout out another Ashley.
Shout out.
In my 20s, and I lived in a house with a couple roommates, and I locked myself out of the door. I couldn't get back to my. She was like waiting in the car in the driveway, just waiting for me. And I didn't mean to, but I was mad, so I punched the door.
Yeah.
And I missed the door, and I hit the window of the door. And so what she saw was just me going fucking right through the window.
Yeah.
And I remember like just glass sticking out of my hand, and then I like texted my roommate, "Hey, my bad," and which is what you do after you break a window with your hand.
Yeah.
And then I remember getting back in the car with my hand just glass bleeding, and her face, the look on her face was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that,
a lot of that.
But what do you say? I didn't mean to hit the. It looked like I just went for the glass.
Sure.
I've accidentally punched through things before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again.
But I'm in therapy.
Note taken. Understand. I get it.
Like,
Happens to
it
the best
happens,
of us.
but
Maybe that's what it's gonna take. Maybe it's gonna really take me to like lose my shit on a person, and then it's like, all right, and someone grabs me like, hey, you should. What could you? That's the first thing they say when they take me. Well, you should see therapy. But maybe that's what it takes. I don't know.
need help.
I know. I would have to do it virtually though too. Although, if it's working virtually, that's great. But it sounds like I would love to be in the room, but people are busy. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to do it virtually now.
My therapist made me start coming in person because I was doing it virtually, and she kept catching me checking emails in like the reflection of my glasses, and she'd like ask me a question. I'd be like, huh? She'd be like, are you checking your email right now? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, so you need to come in person.
I take my appointments in the car because my mom and her boyfriend live in my home, and then my boyfriend lives here too. So I complain about those two people the most.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do it in the car, even if it's like just one person home sleeping. I'm like, I will not take the risk. I will not take the risk.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because I need to talk about how my boyfriend, got his Coke before he even asked me if I was thirsty or like whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? It's like the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
It's like, turns out I'm still mad at my dad that I don't know. But yeah, I like the car and then sometimes the guest bedroom, depending on what's going on. It is nice to cry in bed.
Yeah.
To a
I love
person.
a good cry. It's nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But there's
total beta.
nothing like being angry in the car and smoking a cigarette
Oh, okay.
while your therapist is
that's
like,
why I
"Are you
wish I
okay?"
could smoke. I can't. I don't like to inhale things, but I wish I could smoke just for that reason.
It's nice.
Just to be like, hey, it's something to take my anger out on. You know.
Go to therapy, smoke a cigarette. Yeah. That's my advice for the evening, or for the afternoon, I should say. We are going to wrap this up. Thank you so fucking much.
Thank you for having me, dude.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, of course.
We talked a lot of stand up at the beginning, but we would love to have you back to really dissect some stuff.
Yeah, we did my podcast the first half of the.
Yeah, which was great. I love talking to you about it because you've been around for forever, and your opinions align with mine. So those are the only type of people that I like to talk to.
Yeah, I'm down. This was fun. This was great.
Hell yeah. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, of course.
Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Carl Says Stuff, and then just check out my podcast maybe some other time. That's it.
Hell yeah. I am at Johanna.Madronda.
And I am Itchy Snitchy.
The itchiest of the snitchiest.
That is right.
All right. Thanks for listening and watching, everybody. We love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.